What's going on, guys? It's Jordan back today with another video, and in today's video we're going to continue our Road to series, and today we're going to look at XLM and we're going to look at what my minimum and absolute maximum price prediction for the top of the bull market for XLM. So if that sounds good to you guys, let's jump right on in to the video. As we jump right on in to the weekly chart of Stellar Lumens, I'm going to start by giving you guys a quick introduction what each of these trend lines means. Now, you guys are probably looking at this like the last video saying, what the heck is going on here? But XLM is actually very, very similar to XRP, and it's pretty much having the same type of, fractal playing out that it did in the last bull market that's playing out in exactly this bull market. So let's start with that, guys. So as you guys can see, we had this red resistance line that held us down during the last bear market. You guys can see we kept getting rejected from it or slightly below it multiple times before actually breaking above it and confirming it as support. Now we had a little bit of a breakout above it. We went right back down underneath it, but we ended up testing it as support, and that's when we really got our next huge pump, right? And it also coincided with this bottom purple support line, which is going to be kind of our bottom of our of our bear markets into the future, and I'll talk about that later in this video. But you guys can see we touched those at the exact same time and then pumped up, right? So we rid above it with a couple candles and then we pumped. Now let's fast forward until today's bull market. So up here, guys, we had this red resistance line as well that kept us down during the bear market this time, right? And what did we do, guys? Once we pumped up above it, we came back down to retest it right as this support line was coming up to meet it. Right at the exact same time again, we rode up this bottom support line for a couple candles, and then what did we do, guys? We literally pumped right there, just like last time. You guys can see what happened last time is the exact same thing is happening this time. You guys can't even deny that for all you guys that don't believe in these altcoins, right? Pretty much the same thing happening. Now, you guys can see what happened last time, right? We pumped up, hit about our second local high. So it kind of coincided where we are right now. And then we got a major rejection down, almost 40% correction. So I don't want you guys to get scared right now if we get a correction within the next week, because that's literally what has happened since here. So if we had a 40% correction, that would bring us all the way back down to right about the support line at about 13 cents. So don't be surprised if that happens within the next week or two, guys. But it would actually coincide perfectly with us hitting the support line again. So don't be scared if that happens once again. But as we continue the video here, guys, we also have this top resistance line. Now this is kind of act as the minimum predictions for my next bull market for XLM. You guys can see it was our tops back here, right? It was our top on the first pump, right? And then we kind of got a little bit ridiculous over here in 2017. So we're going to talk about that later. But it was also our support here before we actually dumped through in the last bear market. But I wanted to point that out, guys, so you guys have a little bit indication of what this purple line is. I think it's a very important line. It's going to kind of act as our minimum, for the prediction. So that's where we had it, guys. Now, let's talk about what we could be doing short term. We already talked about the possible correction back down, 40%, right? We already talked about that, which coincide with what happened here. And then we can get a quick pump back up and continue to test this purple line here. So what could happen, right? I'll give you guys a couple scenarios of what could happen pretty quickly, right? So we could do what we did here, right? We could dump down 40% and then come back up and retest the top of this, right? Just like we did back here. And then what we did is we came back down to retest the last all-time high. So maybe we pump up to this, come back down to retest the last all-time high, and then continue up, right? That could be definitely an option. Now, it could just be crazy. We could just see mania and we can pump straight up here. I don't think that's going to happen, right? I mean, it could happen, right? We've seen Bitcoin do it before. So, I mean, I just wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I hope you guys wouldn't be surprised if that happened either. But I think option number one is definitely more likely, where we could just do a stair step where we could pump up to the highs and keep dumping back down and testing them as supports all the way up to our next all-time high. That's definitely possible too, but I think it's going to be somewhere in between option 1 and option 3, where I think we're due. This was kind of a crazy move, right? This was over 100% move, over a 200% move actually, and I think we're kind of due maybe for a little correction, maybe 20-30%. I don't know if about 40% correction, but maybe a retest of this high here would actually make sense in the short term, right? So maybe we get a bounce off that and then we continue up to the higher. Now, we're going to look at my minimum and maximum predictions up next, guys. But I want to take a look at these two lines here. So like we already said, we already talked about this bottom purple line here, which was our local highs, our local high, and then our support before dumping in the bear market, right? And then we have, I kind of did like a logarithmic line from our previous all-time high, which I think was a little bit of a mania. I don't think something crazy like this is going to happen, right? So, it went up literally another 14x, right, from this high here. I think, in 2017, things were a little crazy. I don't think they're going to be getting anything crazy like we did last time. Just for reference, from the breakout point to the last all-time high, we did a 552x. Now, we're not going to see that again. I'll tell you guys right here, right now, I'll put my money that we don't see a 552x. That's absolutely crazy, right? So my predictions are a little bit more, realistic, right? So I made this green line here that represents, the end of 2021 to where I think the next bull market will end. I'm also going to plot. The middle of January too, to give you guys. Actually, no, I'm just going to give you guys the end of December, just to keep it nice and concise for you guys. So. Let's bring out the brush tool again here, if I could find it. There we are. I'm just blind. It was there the whole time. But as we pump up here, we have two different options, right? So as we pump up, I think the minimum prediction would be at about $4.50, right? That's where that line coincides. That could just be our local top, like it was here, and we could see, where we dump back down and get a nice another big pump up again. And my absolute maximum. Now, I don't think this is going to happen, guys. This is just where I think the maximum price could go for Stellar Lumens. I repeat, guys, I don't think this is actually going to happen, but we could go all the way up to $20 for XLM. Now, that's really pushing it for me. I don't think XLM has that type of potential right now. Just from our breakout point, right? From our breakout point here to the top, that would be literally almost a 267x. I don't think that's going to happen, right? I think from our breakout point to 40 to 450, that's more like a 60x. That makes a little bit more sense. And it just if you buy right now to that $4.50 mark, it's about a 22x. So that's a great return, considering we already had a massive pump. I think that's a little bit more realistic, guys. So $4.50 to about $20. I don't think it's going to go to $20. I think it's more likely going to be in the $4.50 to about $6 range, somewhere in here. That's just my opinion. You guys might think it might go a little higher, might go a little lower, but I mean, a 22 to 25x is still a great return, considering you literally already had, about a 3x pump. So that's my price prediction on XLM. That's the road to 450. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will be back tomorrow with another one of these. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. I love making these. This is honestly the most fun I've had on my channel in a while, is making these price predictions and kind of how we're going to get to those prices, right? What are our options to get to those prices? Just quick and concise for you guys, and what I think is going to happen. So tomorrow, I think I'm going to be doing Cardano tomorrow for all your Cardano fans. Leave in the comment section below which coins you guys want me to do videos on for this Road 2 series. I'm going to keep doing it as long as you guys keep hitting that like button down below. It's going to be a top 50 altcoin. I'll make a video on it, but leave that in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.